Hello and welcome to another episode of Sakura Bunny Girls 2. I'm your host, Lynx, if you're around. And I play video games, I guess. Well, I guess also some might not consider this a video game, given that it's a visual novel, but I honestly don't care about that opinion. Let us continue our Bunny Girls story and see where it goes. Another day. Unwilling to show up to my appointment late, I take a quick shower. I mean, we always do take technically quick showers, I think. Men. Skip breakfast. It happens. And head to the always bustling street, making it to Mei Mei's coffee shop a few minutes after it has opened up. I never skip breakfast since it's the most important meal of the day. I mean, that would definitely not be a reason why I would not skip, but okay. For today, I've made an exception because I'm certain that Mei Mei will be able to provide. Will I have cake, waffles, or ketchup pancakes? Allow the owner to decide. For B. Why not all of them? Her taste is impeccable. She hasn't failed me even once. Daydreaming about succulent pastries, I push the door open, revealing the sides of an empty cafe. She's such a cutie pie as well. I guess I arrived too early. Not even Satomi is around. She should have told me an hour instead of VAC meeting time. Yeah, I mean, you could have asked.
Greetings, sir. You've come to see me 2 days in a row. How cute of you. But you're alone today? How strange! You're surrounded by fantastic people, and they're gorgeous too. Are you perhaps waiting for someone to come?
Admit you're waiting. Yeah, but oh yes. I'm so doing this. Tease Mei Mei and tell her that we're meeting her. Yes! Boom! Well, actually, I was hoping you'd spend some time with me, Mei Mei. It's been so long since we've been together alone. I'd appreciate if you could fulfill that need.
Oh, that's flattering, sir. Indeed, we haven't been able to chat privately for quite a while. Don't tell anyone, especially my customers, but I had a blast last time we got personal.
Instead of withdrawing from my tease, Mei Mei cranks things up a notch, grinning at me suggestively while blushing. Heck yeah, man! Did she pick up on my attempt to mess with her, or are her feelings genuine? Guess. For now, my safest bet would be to ignore it and change the topic. Oh, come on, man. You know, we've known each other for quite a while now, Mei Mei. I think you can drop some of that politeness and call me Yori.
Are you sure, sir? I've never called a customer by his name before.
Absolutely. It will help you to see me as a friend rather than yet another customer.
You're very right, Yori. I did it! I called you by your name. How exciting! However, I only refer to you by your name when we're alone. I can't allow the rest of my customers to know you're receiving a special treatment.
That sounds fair to me. I don't want to damage either your cafe or your reputation.
Talking like this in private will suffice to prevent anything bad from happening. It'll be our little secret.
Maybe whispers the last part of her sentence to my ear. Her voice is so sensual it gives me goosebumps. Whew! Noticing my obvious perplexity, Mei Mei bursts into a peal of chirpy laughter as she proceeds to guide me to my familiar table. However, instead of taking my order, she sits down in front of me, staring at me intently. Where is the CG for that game?
Since we're getting closer, I want to ask you something a bit too personal. Yuri, the zesty girl you had coffee with yesterday, would you tell me more about her? If you want to, of course. I'd hate to know into topics that are best left untouched.
I mean, I guess I can talk about a bit about Rico. What would you not know? What would you know to know exactly?
Nothing out of the ordinary. What does she do for a living? Your relationship with her? That kind of thing, you know.
Mei answers her questions with a smirk on her face, rather unashamed to be speaking this directly. Dude, it's so her, man. I don't think she's got this comfortable with me before. Either way, I'm glad it's like that. It shows that her playful personality is more than just an act to allure customers. Or so you think. Well, I'll try to tell you about Rico since her life is complicated to describe. To begin with, her job is hard to explain at the very least. Let's just say she's very into the stock market.
Oh, she's like a broker then.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. That's awesome. She was pretty witty to be involved in that world. You've got a great taste, Yuri. Funny, I find the stock market intriguing as well. I learn about it in my spare time, but I never had the nerve to invest in anything. Imagine if I lost my cafe because of that. Oh, it'd be a catastrophe.
Mei cracks her can't pan casually, stealing a soft peel of laughter from me. I wonder if she improvises or if she leads the conversation so that she can use them.
Is there anything else you'd want to share with me about her, Yuri? You still haven't answered one of my questions.
Even if you enjoy messing with me by treating me like a heartbreaker, Rico's my friend and my colleague. We've worked together in the past and we're working together once more.
Oh, so she's your friend and your colleague? Like that other friend and colleague of yours, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Admittedly, it sounds almost humorous out loud.
It is humorous, especially since those two girls don't acknowledge you as their friend and workmate.
Say what?
Ooh, they see you more as... much more.
Whoa.
But what do I know, right? In the end, I'm only a stupid maid.
Mei's mischievous claim prompts me to narrow my eyes while staring at her, the cat-loving imp, springing her feet with an energetic hop.
As usual, it's been an absolute pleasure
cheating with you. What? No. No cheating was done over here. What are you talking about? Oh my... Yeah, what a typo. Unless she means other customers. Then, fine. I'm fine with that. You can cheat on your customers with me all you want, Mei. Anyway.
As usual, it's been an absolute pleasure cheating with you, Yuri.
I mean... I feel like it was supposed to be chatting, but whatever.
However, we've run out of time for today. One of your friends just arrived and is coming in our direction. I'm looking forward to spending more time like this in the future with you.
Discreetly, Mei winks at me moments before Satomi reaches our table, our host inviting her to take a seat with a courtesy. Satomi smiles at Mei as she sits down in front of me, glad to discover I've arrived promptly at our meeting.
Good morning, Yuri. Spot on time, I see. Does this punctuality have anything to do with your current job, or is it because you were eager to meet me?
Yes. It was a bit of both, Satomi. My previous jobs taught me that if you aren't 5 minutes early to an appointment, you're already late. Nah. So I have to confess that starting the day, chatting with you is one of the best ways to brighten it. What a smooth operator.
I truly enjoy myself when you're teasing like that. You should definitely do that more often. What do you say, Mei? Personally, I like it more when people are like feisty kittens. They're so adorable, I can't resist. But now that the two of you are here, may I take your order? The morning rush hour will happen anytime soon, so you should take advantage of the cafe being virtually empty before it becomes crowded. You're usually my best customers. I prefer to serve you myself.
Wait, are there others there? I thought... maybe. I mean, it would make sense. Mei giggles at her remark as she extends her arm to hand the menu to Satomi. However, she shakes her head with a grin, causing Mei to retract it.
We'll have the usual, Mei. We won't stay too long since we have errands to run. Oh, very well then. I'll be back with your order in an instant.
With a cute bow, Mei abandons the scene, entering the kitchen, returning with a tray of coffee and some pastries. Then she draws again, leaving Satomi and I alone. What kind of errands are we running? Did you meet me to offer me more work? Let's go with the errands. What kind of errands are we running, Satomi? Because knowing you as I do, I doubt you need help with the laundry.
We're not going to be running an actual errand, Yori. I said that so that maybe I wouldn't get distracted. The girl loves gossiping, did you know that?
Yes. I'm starting to realize now. Anyway, if you're not going to be taking care of anything, what is it? I'm still waiting to hear that important piece of news you told me about.
Don't get angry at me, but that was a trick as well. I have no news to share with you. Damn it! However, I do have a proposition to make you. One that involves a trip to the jungle that's close to the city.
Jungle? What? Satomi adds up to the mystery of her odd offer by sipping from her cup, careful to not disfigure the cat that's floating her brew. Okay, I'm listening.
You see, I've been very busy lately with fulfilling my duties for my company. Mind you, these duties had nothing to do with Yuka's attack. So I was thinking, why not spend a few days away from the hustle and bustle of the city to wind down in the wilderness of the jungle?
What?
Not only will that allow me to take a breather, but also prove my innocence to the relentless investigator who's on my heels. What do you say, Yori? Would a short holiday trip dissipate your doubts about my involvement?
Maybe? If I have to say, I'm impressed your company is willing to give you a few days off. I was convinced you work from dawn to dusk all week long.
It's often like that, but an asset like me deserves some rest too. It's in their best convenience to keep me pleased.
Huh. Satomi's tone grows a bit bitter, noticing that shortly after she attempts to counter those negative feelings with the sweetness of the pastries. They seem to work since the grimace on her face disappears. If I were to say yes, when would we be leaving, Satomi?
As soon as we drank our coffees and paid Maymay, there's a vehicle waiting for us outside. You don't need to pack a few clothes and we'd be on our way.
Wow! I'll be honest, that is something I would not... I don't like something like that, not gonna lie. I've mentioned this before, I hate it when someone tries to visit without earlier informing me, right? So basically they arrive by the door and knock and you are like, what the hell? I didn't invite anyone, right? I hate that. I literally hate that. So I feel like something like that. Yeah, I also mentioned, I guess, that if situations like this with someone by the door, I guess it would be acceptable for like one person in my life. Where it would not annoy me, but yeah. With occasions like that as well, dude. Let's say family does that, I say no. It's again like one person that I would say, alright, let's go. Yeah. I guess to sort of break through annoyance, in a way you have to be somewhat special. Yeah. Well, Satomi, in this case, I guess I'm saying yes to her. Now these are some rush vacations, but since my employer hasn't contacted me yet, I guess I could join you and keep you company.
I'm charmed to hear that, Yori. Exploring the jungle alone doesn't sound appealing in the slightest.
I'll be honest with you, exploring the jungle in general is not appealing as well to me. And I'm not like, oh, I would like to just go and laze on the beach. No. Let's go somewhere where we can explore, but maybe not the jungle. Anyway, Satomi Girls had her playful remark, unhurriedly finishing her coffee and cutely decorated pastries. And I do the same, my imagination running wild as it attempts to picture the both of us venturing into the unknown. I wouldn't normally accept such a hurried offer, for since Mr. Himura hasn't assigned me any active missions, I might as well use this free time to unwind. Moreover, if I play my cards right, I'll be able to get to know Satomi better, which will prove her innocence once and for all. Come on, man, just... This is not the goal of mine, at least. Now, before we leave, where did I put my mosquito repellent spray? Who knows? I don't even have such a thing, so... I better recall where I placed it, or else this will be a one-way trip. Yeah. I guess. After one long drive to the distant tropical forest, with a brief stop at my apartment, we arrived at the hotel, which was luxurious, to say the least. Neither Satomi nor I have taken too much with us, proof that we'll spend just a couple of days here at best. Satomi continues calling this a holiday trip, but I can't shake out the fact that this lush jungle isn't a place someone would visit to relax. I'd understand if she wanted to spend the day at the hotel's pool bar. However, here we are, in the middle of the rainforest, surrounded by exotic flora that belonged in an encyclopedia. Damn.
What's the matter, Yori? Can't keep up? According to the guide, the trail was supposed to be for beginners.
This trail was for beginners until you decided to leave it and explore on your own, Satomi. We'll be in some serious trouble if we get lost.
First of all, if we were to reach the river, we'd have no choice but to abandon the blazed trail. And secondly, you're forgetting the fact that I'm a bunny girl with incredible powers. We'd find our way home in no time. But rest assured, my orientation skills are remarkable.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
There will be no need for me to transform.
I'm counting on you then. I'm not used to roaming these wild environments.
Well, it's never too late to learn something new, don't you think?
Satomi turns her head around only to flash me an impish grin, her steady steps driving us deeper into the unforgiving jungle. Gradually the vegetation becomes thicker and the sunlight begins to dim, making it feel as if we're entering ancient sacred grounds. Now, also them going through the jungle makes me realize that I have not had gone to like a forest or anything like that in ages. Not like I mind, to be frank with you, for. Especially now, since somehow out of nowhere, supposedly there has been sightings of wolves apparently. So, well, maybe not the best idea to go to a forest. Anyway. I don't mean to complain, but this is starting to feel off, Satomi. Perhaps abandoning the marked path wasn't such a great idea. And why I wouldn't go to a jungle for sure? Snakes. I hate snakes. And I don't want to run into them. Anyway.
This is fine, Yori. Are you perhaps not trusting me? That saddened me greatly, taking into account all we've gone through. Not to mention, you're the first person who's been fortunate enough to accompany me on one of those trips.
Yes! I trust you. I wouldn't be here otherwise. It's just this part of the jungle is unsettling.
I'm aware of that. You'll get used to it before long. I didn't like it when I came here the first time either.
Oh, so you've been here before?
Not in this particular jungle, though. I've been on missions in some other tropical forests. And those were so much worse. This one is almost well kept in comparison.
Huffing upon remembering the past, Satomi clears the way in front of me. The melodic rumbling... Does she have a machete? Satomi clears the way in front of me. The melodic rumbling of the water flowing, greeting me once I abandoned the overgrown thicket.
There it is! The river. It swayed the trek, for I believe it was worth it.
Oh, are we jumping in?
There's something even remotely similar to this in the city, don't you agree, Yori?
Did I say something? I meant nothing. Nor the countryside, actually. This is quite a sight for sore eyes. I'm assuming it looks like this because we're basically the first people to have reached it in one piece.
I don't think we're the first. There are countless adventure seekers like us out there. But this part of the river is practically untouched. So let's just go with it and say we're the ones who discovered it,
Satomi cackles at her claim before she extends her arm in my direction, wordlessly asking me to go hand in hand next to the crystal water. Aww. Cute. I offer my hand for her to pick, but instead she curls her arm around mine, gluing our bodies together. Heck yeah! Moments ago, this would have been a terrible idea given the impending mood, for since the riverside appears to be rather flat and traversable, I'll stick close to Satomi. That's not the reason why you do that.
You know, I've been curious all this time, Yuri. When you used to be a bodyguard, where did you used to travel? I mean, like, you must have been all over Japan, for I'm assuming you haven't been to the wilderness. You've been a tiny bit squeamish today.
Indeed. I've been to many places across Japan. However, as you guessed correctly, I've never been to such remote locations yet. The customers I used to protect required my services in the big cities they often visited, either for pleasure, business, or both. That's why it's so simple for me to hop from one city to another. I've been doing that since I was hired.
What a pity. You've missed out on the fun of discovering new regions. There's so much you still need to experience.
Well, I might do that in the future, but for leisure, not work. That line kind of grinds my gears. Because that sounds like something like, oh, I'll do it after I retire. No, you will not. After you retire, your knees will buckle up. Do it now. Traveling because you want to is not the same as traveling because you're forced to. There's quite an important difference between those two.
Heh, tell me about it.
Satomi snorts with disdain, doing her best to not roll her eyes with displeasure. Has your company sent you on a business trip, Satomi? I'm not sure if I should call them that given what you're usually asked to do.
My company fancies calling those trips operations, and yes, I've been sent to many places, some of them you probably never heard of.
Test me. Come on.
They have assets scattered over the world, as well as enemies and undesirable people who would benefit from damaging their firm. Whenever someone attempts to harm them in any way, shape or form, I'm sent to change their mind. Sometimes I'm lucky and the destination is somewhat agreeable, some other times it's the opposite of that, but I've got to cope and finish my mission. If you dislike the jungle, you'd hate it in the poles.
What do you mean you'd hate it in the poles? Okay, I know you don't mean Poland, but... but I had to, okay?
And don't get me started about the desert.
We have desert in Poland, by the way. We also have moving suns, in case you're interested. Ting ting. Yeah, we have a lot of crazy stuff here. You would not expect something like that in the Central Europe. Anyway.
It was so hot there that I was convinced that my bunny suit was going to melt.
Oh, I would like to be there when that happens. Satomi's humorous tone steals a chuck from me. The idea of having to carry out a mission is such an inhospitable occasion, prompting my forehead to sweat in anticipation. Yeah, I just stay in the city, thank you. I'm a suburbs type of person, to be fair. Unless the city is small, yeah. Like, I would not like to live in a big city. And if I would be near a big city, it would have to be on the outskirts somewhere. Anyway,
However,
I'm amazed you've been to such places. I bet that it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say you visited half of the world.
it wouldn't be an exaggeration. No, however, I would hesitate to return to some of those destinations while on holiday. Perhaps with someone to accompany me. Wink wink.
Satomi brushes her shoulder against mine with a knowing grin. Understanding her indirect message, I grin back at her, pleasing her with my wordless response. I would. Yeah.
Well then, I believe we've ranged over the river more than enough, Yuri. We should return to the hotel before it grows dark. I've got what I came here for.
Huh? And what were you looking for exactly? Is there a treasure hidden somewhere and you were seeking clues?
If only that was the case. But to answer your question, I was looking for some adventure and a spot as secluded as this one. We could build and tear down and nobody would ever know.
Yeah? Oh. Again, perfect situation. Build a place somewhere super far, nobody around, and somehow manage to, you know, get the internet connection there. And, of course, like, grow your own food and so, But to be quite fair, I would need to have, like, a store or anything like that somewhere. Yeah, I guess being completely secluded is not the best, but a small village or something like that, where you can buy stuff, yes. I know I would not want to, like, have my own animals on a farm or anything like that. I would not mind growing vegetables, fruits, and so on. But for animals, not really. Doggos are enough for me. What I'm getting at, I would just buy meat from somewhere. Yeah. Anyway. That's very true. However, who'd do such a foolish thing?
You'd be surprised. There are foolish people everywhere.
Like Lynx.
But let's not discuss that here. The hotel buffet is beckoning us to come back and have a hearty meal.
It sure is! We haven't eaten anything since we bid Mei Mei goodbye and left the city. The next time we decide to venture into the jungle, I'm taking some snacks with me. I crack my half-serious joke as we turn around, retracing our steps as we make our way back to the hotel. With how much we've walked this morning, something tells me that this is going to be an uneventful afternoon of settling back. Or so I hope. My feet hurt from treading over so much mud. Should have trekking shoes. I used to sell those, I guess. I never had, like, proper trekking shoes though. Yeah. Everyday shoes, yes. Running shoes, yes. Winter shoes, yes. For I guess with winter you should say boots, but whatever. Thankfully my hunch was right and Satomi and I did nothing for the rest of the day, using this free time to enjoy the hotel's installations. Before long the night set in, engulfing the entire jungle in impervious darkness. It's late, the perfect time to go to sleep, yet Satomi is wide awake, with no intention of hitting the sack. Good. Something's going on, and she knows I'm aware of that.
Alright, Yori. The moment has come for me to tell you the truth. This is no regular holiday trip. I'm in fact on a mission.
I knew it! Damn it!
Why am I not surprised?
Why am I not surprised, Tommy? You having free time was too good to believe. And since that's the case, I'm pretty certain that our previous walk together was somehow related to the mission.
Precisely. I was scouting the area, searching for hints that give away the location of the bandit outpost that's disturbing the local production lines. They've been pestering my company by raiding their convoys for quite a while now, enough to have them send me to put an end to this issue.
Well, that explains why you wanted to abandon the trail and go on your own to find the river. I suppose that the outpost is close to it. But why would you bring me with you if you could take care of this blindfolded? A few outlaws are no match for you.
Perceptives as always, I see. Yes, the outpost is less than a mile away from the river. I spotted some steps that surely belong to the bandits. Criminals needs to drink too. As for bringing you with me, I thought that this would be the last proof you'd need to not question my involvement with Yuka's assault and stop listening to Riko and her far-fetched theories. My company has better things to do than dealing with an insignificant gang leader and their harmless gang. Their scope is way larger than that.
Honestly, I no longer think you have anything to do with what happened that night, Satomi. I'll make sure to convey that to Riko once we return. Upon hearing my statement, Satomi bends forward, raising an eyebrow to further reinforce her teasing attitude.
Oh really? I'm glad to hear I'm no longer the prime suspect in your investigation, Yori. But if that's the case, why did you decide to accompany me here? Especially if you were aware that this wasn't a mere holiday trip.
I mean, how could I say no to you? We haven't worked much together, for I believe I know your style, Satomi. I simply couldn't let you go without someone supervising your work. What are you talking? Dude, just say you wanted to go with her. What is wrong with you?
You make it sound as if I couldn't get the job done without you, is that it?
Absolutely not. I'm just worried about the poor bandits that will have to face you on their own. In fact, I pity them. Besides, it doesn't hurt to have a friend looking over you so that you don't get in trouble, don't you agree? Satomi stares me in silence for a few seconds, struggling to find the right words to answer me. In the end, she limits herself to bursting into laughter, tapping my shoulder with one hand while she points at the door with the other.
It's not like I need it, but having a friend nearby could be useful. At the very least, you'll make the trip less tedious with your chatter.
I'll do my best to keep you entertained, Satomi. The trek won't be a bed of roses, so we might as well chuckle a bit along the way. To prove that she agrees with me, Satomi nods with a smile on her face, sliding the door open so that the trickiest part of her mission can begin. Ready or not, here we come, outlaws! Would be hilarious if it was so. And we are back. Shrouded in a black mantle, we head back to the jungle trails, the dim moonlight barely illuminating our way. I'm wearing the same clothes as this morning, whereas Satomi changed to her bunny suit the instant we're far enough from any prying eyes. Guess I'll have to order some dry cleaning after this trip, man. I wish I could put an outfit like Satomi does in the Batfenai, though I'd prefer something a bit looser. I don't think that skin-tight look would fit me very well. I know what you mean.
We're nearing the outpost, Yori. Can you hear it?
Oh, it's complicating discerning if you hear so many loud noises, but I believe I can hear some distant voices and a faint buzz. That might be mosquitoes.
The voice belongs to the bandits and the buzz is produced by the generators they're using to power up the outpost. If I had been dumb enough to have connected to the grid, my company wouldn't have sent me in the first place.
Who'd they send then? I can't imagine anyone else doing this kind of job.
I might be the spearhead of the forces, for there are many more apart from me.
What? Wait, you mean bunny girls or...
Just like it happens with your company, they have security teams that protect, escort and defuse hostile situations when needed. However, I agree with you. I can't imagine anyone else doing what I do. The rest are so inefficient compared to me.
Yeah?
They need to send 100 people to jobs I can do alone with one hand tied behind my back.
Should we try that? Satomi picks on her subordinates as we continue to draw closer to the outpost. The artificial buzz, clearly audible now that we distanced ourselves from the river.
The outlaws are right behind that line of trees, Yori. This is how we're going to do it. First, we're going to split up and infiltrate the camp silently. I don't want anyone spotting us when we're in. Then we're going to take them out one by one until we've secured the area. Once that happens...
Oh, wait a second. Now that I think about it. That bunny girl, the fourth one supposed, could it be in some way she's messing with every other bunny girl as well?
Anyway, once that happens, my mission will be over and we'll call it a day. Do you have any questions?
Only one. What will happen if the stealthy approach doesn't work?
Well, if that were to happen, it will be showtime!
Satomi replies with a teasing smirk on her face, using her powers to jump to the other side of the outpost undetected. Wow. She waits until I get into the position, hiding inside of a bush as the view of the outpost unfolds before my eyes. Damn! That's some building over here. This place is well larger than I imagined. With these many buildings, well, there is one, it resembles a village. And to top it all, there is crawling with armed bandits. Dude, I would like that outpost. You know what? Yeah. Yo, you know what would be cool? Oh, dude, it's again like me dreaming of a house by the sea or a lake, but having something like that exactly. Super high, well, maybe not super high, but relatively high, and live in there like that. That would be cool. Anyway, they're patrolling the borders while using floodlights to ensure nothing escapes past their gazes. If this is their degree of security, what they rate must cost a fortune. Maybe. That's the very reason they've drawn Satomi's attention. Something they're about to regret. Synchronized with my bunny-suited partner, I'll leave my hideout behind and enter the woods, then, using the few shadows I find to merge with them and go unnoticed. Some Splinter Cell. My previous jobs never required being this sneaky. I guess this is as good of a time as ever to learn how to become undetectable. Rising up to the challenge of acting like a wraith, I lie in wait while a guard moves nearer, completely unaware of my presence. I ready myself as I only have one chance at this. What the fuck? The bandit steps next to me, spotting my silhouette from the corner of his eye. But it's too late for him, since the next thing he sees is my fist sinking into his face. I knock him out, seizing his body and placing it against the cover I was using before it falls to the ground and produces a loud thumping noise. One outlaw less, many more to go. Ensuring that I'm concealed, I glance over the other end of the outpost where I spot Satomi getting rid of bandits in a similar fashion. But possibly way faster, huh? Unlike me, however, she's moving like a greased lightning, dashing from foo-foo to foo without making a noise. Those powers of hers sure are handy. I can't help but wonder how would it be to have a fraction of them at my disposal. I snap back to reality when a guard exits one of the tents, stretching his arms nonchalantly as if the campsite wasn't under attack. Well, I guess he thinks it isn't. Believing that all is fine, he begins to patrol the border like the former bandit, his confusion growing when he's unable to spot his friend. Not wanting him to make a fuss over it, I sneak up on him, tapping his shoulder lightly so he'll face me. Hey, where'd you go? The boss will be pissed if he spots you slacking up! He talks to me as if he was my companion. But to his dismay, he soon discovers that that's not the case. My fist explaining to him the situation that he's in. Once again, I managed to neutralize the enemy with a single blow. It's a useful technique, but my knuckles are hurting from punching this strongly. I mean, you can try the open fist, I guess. In the end, I was never trained to infiltrate any kind of building or organization. I'm not a spy, but a bodyguard. I'm out of my element here. For given my current performance, I'd say I'm doing a great job so far. I mean, 2 for 2, I guess. As if the universe had heard my thoughts, a blaring rocket suddenly rings out. The entire outpost becoming aware of our presence is in the worst way possible. Someone sounded the alarm. How? Neither me nor the 2 guards I've knocked out have been spotted. Whatever the case is, stealth is no longer an option. As Satomi said, it's showtime. So, following her plan, I race to the center of the campsite, Satomi waiting for me there with her arms crossed, defying the increasing number of bandits that's surrounding us.
Stop right there, intruders! Raise your hands in the air and surrender. If you comply, I promise I won't hurt you much.
Hurt me, you say? Ha! You wouldn't be able to hurt me even if you shot the trusty weapon of yours at point blank.
Don't you dare talk to me like that unless you want to see your brains splatter on the floor!
I'd love to see you try, idiot.
Enough! Nobody distracts me! Die!
The outlaws shoot at Satomi, who effortlessly stops the bullet with her hand, just like she did when she tried to steal the briefcase from me. Everyone looks in awe, disbelieving what their eyes just witnessed.
Ah, that was a lousy attempt to get rid of me, idiots. Bullets cannot touch me, they're so very slow. Perhaps you should come closer and defeat me personally. Or are you afraid of a woman in bunny suit wiping the floor with your ass?
I'm not afraid, and even less of someone like you. If I have to take you down with my bare fist, so be it.
Falling for her taunt, the leader drops his weapon and charges at Satomi, who doesn't budge an inch even when his fist is about to come in contact with her face. However, when she is milliseconds away from landing a successful hit, Satomi dodges his attack, riposting with a push that sends the poor man crashing against the wall. Woof. Unsurprisingly, he's out of combat. The rest of the band is terrified by that show of brawn.
She took out the leader without even blinking. We must avenge him. She can't possibly defeat us all if we attack at once.
Let's make them regret ever coming here! Doing their best to overcome their crippling fear, the entire campsite sprints in our direction, Satomi giggling softly in anticipation.
Here they come, Yori, make me proud.
Wait, what? Oh. She will kick some ass. Satomi clicks her tongue in disappointment as the battle breaks out. The bandits hesitating about who should attempt to strike first. Hoping to solve the issue for them, Satomi lunges forward, roundhouse kicking one of the outlaws so forcefully that he drops and hugs the ground.
Ah, you're all too weak. What a disappointment. I'll try to spice things up by not using my hands in this fight.
Oh,
That should give you half a chance, idiots. Take advantage of it.
relishing to provoke our enemies, Satomi places her arms behind her back, prompting a couple of bandits to strike her out of sheer rage. With gentle hope, Satomi dodges their hits, replying with a middle kick that causes the attacker to wince with pain before collapsing on the dirt. The second attacker isn't any more fortunate. He receives a high kick that knocks him out like a light. Engrossed by Satomi's breathtaking fighting style, I don't notice how some outlaws have approached me tentatively, worried about the possibility of me having inhuman powers as well.
What's up with you, huh? What kind of demon are you?
I'm no demon, only a god man who's going to bring you to your knees without trying.
We'll see about that, punk!
Infuriated by my bold claim, one of the bandits attempts to pounce on me while wielding a knife, aiming it at my chest when I'm within his reach. Having experienced this kind of primitive attack before, I deflect it at the last second, locking my arm. Jesus, I can't read right now. Locking my arm around his. Then I'm constricted, forcing him to drop his weapon with a pained grunt. With my free hand, I grab the knife midair, using the weapon's butt to smack him in the forehead. Obviously, in a lot of pain, I free him with my arm lock, allowing him to take a few steps back. Exploiting this distance, I deliver a stunning uppercut, overthrowing like that my opponent. It's your turn. Give me your best shot, not that you stand on a chance.
I'm not dumb. If you're really a good person, I'd simply mow you down with my gun.
Understanding that a physical confrontation would end in his defeat, the outlaw produces a pistol from his holster, removing the safety before aiming it at me. But as he's about to pull the trigger, I thrust forward, knocking out his hand with my foot. Boink. Well, if I were you, I'd start running away screaming in panic.
Good advice. I think I'll follow her.
As the bandit's about to turn tail and fly the coop back to his home, Satomi will kick him, lifting him high enough to land on one of the tent's rooftops. Damn.
And that was that. The bandit outpost has been neutralized. It took a while, for I'll admit it was fun. Good job, by the way. You've proved to be reliable once more. I'm seriously considering taking you on more missions with me, Yori.
By the way, am I getting paid for this? I don't think I'd ever get along with your company, Satomi, for I appreciate your kind words. During a mission, obviously. Otherwise, I'm for it. Anyway, what comes next now that everyone's unconscious? We can't leave them here like that.
And we won't. We'll take them out of the campsite so that I can safely torch it.
You what? You will what? Upon hearing Satomi's nefarious intentions, my eyebrows plummet, wishing for this to be one of her theses. Are you really going to torch the outpost, Satomi? You must be joking. In the middle of a jungle.
No, I'm not. My company ordered me to destroy the outpost thoroughly. Those outlaws won't be operating around this area anytime soon.
I mean, if you want them gone like that, why don't you tip off the police? Tell them that you found a group of poachers that were dwelling illegally in the jungle. They'll come, imprison the bandits, dismantle the whole place. They'll be gone for good. Your company's production lines will be safe.
I can do that, Yori. My spirits won't be satisfied with that. And as you can imagine, I can't afford to define them.
Okay, your spirits can't afford to lose you. There is nobody above you. First one. I believe it's the other way around, Satomi. Your spirits can't afford to lose you. Think about it for a second. What do they do if you are gone? Their whole operation would crumble like a house of cards. You're the one ensuring their safety, so if you decide to do things your way, even if they disapprove of it, they'll have to bite the bullet and accept it. Also, come on, that's too dangerous. I mean, you might set the entire jungle on fire.
In a way, you're right, but still, I don't want them taking action against me. I still depend on them.
Okay, I may not be aware of how that business goes or your actual relationship with them, but trust me on this, you have more power over them than what you believe. You should realize and profit from that fact. They can't keep compelling you to do everything their way, whether you like it or not.
Ah, it's been always like that since the very moment I joined them. Why would that change now after all this time? Because they're not your usual bossy manager who scolds you if you don't meet the deadlines? They're ruthless, unprincipled, and sometimes savage. There could be dire consequences if I were to start doing what I believe is best.
If anything, they should fear you. They won't dare to go... They should fear you. Yeah. I think that... let's go with second option here. They won't dare to go against their best asset. Okay, I'm no businessman, but profit-driven people like them won't dare go against their best asset. Thanks to you, they're seeing the money, while they risk losing everything by coercing you.
That's exactly the thing, Yori. They don't want to risk losing everything, so they do their worst to ensure I won't go anywhere. They know how to put the screws on me, and won't hesitate to do so whenever I feel that I'm not performing adequately. They've done so in the past, and they won't have qualms to do the same now or in the future.
Which is unwise if you ask me. They should treat you like a priceless treasure, not the other way around. You're one of the biggest pillars, if not the only pillar, that's sustaining their organization. If you're gone, their whole enterprise would collapse. I'm certain they know that. That's why they're so heartless with you. Their threats mean nothing if you compare them to your might.
Alright, let's imagine for a second that you're right and that my company won't discipline me for not raising the outpost. Does this criminal scum deserve to be spared like that? They deserve to watch their outpost burn and become reduced to ashes.
Okay, am I the only sane person here thinking that you would basically also light the jungle on fire while doing that? Come on. Anyway. We can decide the fate of others. The police must take it from here. Let's go with this one. We cannot decide the fate of the others, Satomi. That responsibility doesn't fall upon us. Someone else will judge them and punish them accordingly. Our work here is done. All we have to do is call the authorities and bundle the area.
Can we trust they'll do what's correct, Yori? Those bandits have been raiding my company and nobody has moved a finger until I was sent to dispatch them. If the authorities couldn't prosecute them, they don't have the right to sentence them either.
Okay, these bandits were in common criminals. You were sent, which proves my point. Just give the law enforcement a chance. It will be better than lowering to the level of these outlaws by setting fire to the outpost. Someone like you wouldn't want to become an arsonist and burn half of the jungle, right? Finally you say that part! Thank you! You should have started with this, man.
Fine. I'll tip off the authorities, but only because you're being truly insistent, Yori.
And
because what you said made a tiny bit of sense. There, I said it. Can now return to the hotel, please? I've got an army of mosquitoes ready and willing to feast on me. I promise I'll contact the police on our way back. I'll give the coordinates of the outpost and exaggerate a bit the situation so that they speed things up. Tomorrow morning, these bandits will be all over the news. It's very likely I'll receive a nasty call from my superiors too.
Satomi lowers her gaze, worried about what those people could tell her for disobeying them. Not wanting her to look that downcast, I grab her hand and squeeze it tightly, prompting her to lock her eyes on mine. Don't let them bring you down, Satomi. You're the most powerful guy I've ever met. One that wouldn't be afraid of some cranky old man who lusts after money. If sending these criminals to jail upsets them, tell them on my behalf that they can go soap in their limousines.
And reveal that the invincible Satomi is working alone anymore? No dice, Yori. You will have to convey that message to them yourself.
I would, and with great pleasure, actually. Just tell me where they're at, and I'll be on my way. Satomi stares at me intently, aware that I mean what I'm saying. Because I do! However, after some long seconds of holding our gazes, she dissolves into laughter, triggering me to chuckle as well.
I might do that some other time. For now, though, we must return to the hotel straight away. The mosquitoes discovered they can bite me and are now swarming you, Yori.
I noticed that, alright? Their incessant buzzing is getting on my nerves. Kindly lead the way, Satomi. I still can't properly orient myself in the jungle.
That'll have to change if you're planning to accompany me in these operations more often.
Without letting my hand go, Satomi ventures into the wilderness with a grin on her face, leaving the secured outpost behind. I'm not sure if it's on purpose, but Satomi is joking more frequently about me tagging along with her. Personally wouldn't mind as long as it didn't interfere with my job. She definitely enjoys herself more when I'm around, and being able to prevent her from committing mistakes is in the name of her company makes me feel accomplished. Satomi is much more than a girl following orders or an asset. Satomi is this fantastic girl who will manage to unlock her full potential one day. And that day will arrive sooner rather than later. I'll try my best to see it personally. Crossing the jungle gracefully, almost as if she was born here, Satomi takes me to the hotel, ending the anonymous tip-off when we enter our bedroom. Was that risk necessary, Satomi? I'm sure you've given the poor emergency operator a heart attack.
It's not like I lied, Yori. There have been gunshots, a scuffle, and a very real risk of the whole outpost burning to the ground. I'm pretty certain the special assault team is on its way. They'll arrive any moment now, only to find out that they got their work cut out for them.
Okay, I'm not against that, but did you have to pretend they were shooting at you while we were walking down the jungle trail? The way you screamed for your life was pretty believable.
I know how to do much more than just laying down the law. As you could see, I can put on an act just fine.
Especially when it involves messing with someone. The operator was stuttering while you were reporting the showdown.
What can I say? I can't help ruffling a few feathers here and there.
Satomi winks at me impartially as she takes a seat on the bed, stretching her arms when she feels comfortable enough.
This outing was great, Yori. For I'm afraid tomorrow morning we'll have to go back to the city.
So early? I thought we'd stay for a few days.
Me too. However, since we completed the mission rather efficiently, my superiors will assign me yet another job.
In a sign of appreciation, they could give you a free day, even if it was just once.
Holidays don't exist for them, or for me at least.
I bet for them they exist all the time, though.
Anyway, on the bright side, this was fun. Not to mention you got to see more of Japan. With that luck, the next location will be nicer than a moody jungle.
My fingers are crossed. Sad to hear that this adventure turned out to be an exotic day trip, I proceed to join Satomi in the bed, picking up distant helicopter noises. The special assault team is in for a nice surprise. Thanks to Satomi's telephonic actuation, they must believe there is a whole battle going on in the middle of the wild. It will be entertaining hearing them explain what happened tomorrow morning. But that, perhaps, is for another episode. That is correct. Let's end it right here, right now, and we shall continue tomorrow. Man, I enjoy diving into those stories. They're cozy and relaxing in a way. I'm having a great time. But yes, let's end the episode for today. Tomorrow we shall continue. Hope you enjoyed, as per usual. If you did, do the usual, consider liking the video, of course. And if you're new around, hey, consider subscribing and sticking around for longer. Played a lot of games, somehow play a lot of games, and plan to play in the future a lot of games. And to be fair, I record all of that, so there is already a lot of videos, and well, I guess safely can assume there will be more. But yes, with all of that being said, for now, hope you enjoyed. And once again, with you sticking around, the chances of you running into a bunny girl increase. That's right. Alright, let's end it for today. I wish you a fantastic day, and I wish you to run into a bunny girl at some point of life as well. Have a great one. Bye!